Danvy, a political science professor at CSU East Bay. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm great, but it seems like the system is a little whacked. Can you explain to people how and why this works, where a sitting governor needs more than 50% to win, but a challenger needs like nothing? I mean, 6% or whatever. It doesn't matter.
It is a very confusing process, and it is one of the stalwarts of California democracy, where we allow voters to have a recall election. And this is something that the Democratic Party has really been looking into, is to try to reform the recall process. It is too easy to remove a governor from office. You do not need a reason at all. So that's one of the changes that they are proposing to make. Another one is that the winner needs a majority rather than a plurality to win. So those are some changes that may be on the horizon after this recall election, because recalls this is the sixth time that Governor Newsom has had a recall against him. So it is much too easy of a process, and it is something that the Democratic Party is looking to reform in the future.
It's much too easy to get there. And then also, once you do get here, the ballot, a lot of people having questions about, do I have to answer that second question? If I vote no on the recall, do I have to answer that second question or not? You don't have to, right?
You do not have to. Your vote still matters. But there are two questions that people should be aware of on the ballot. The first one is, do you want Governor Newsom to be recalled? And that's a yes or no question. The second answer, or the second question, is who to vote for. And you flip that ballot over, and there's going to be a list of names. And if you're unclear on who to vote for, it might be a good idea to have a write-in candidate, our Lieutenant Governor Elena Kounalakis, who has already been voted in by Californians. So that is an option also, is to do a write-in candidate. But if you do not answer that second question, your vote still counts.
Because we need more candidates? There's like 46 candidates, not enough?
There's so many, yeah.
Now, when it comes to, there's really only one candidate that stands out who is a contender of any kind, and that's Larry Elder. So I want to ask you about what he's putting forward before the election even has happened, and he's hinting that there could be fraud. He's already taken a play out of Donald Trump's book, and he just pointed yesterday. He said, I think there were shenanigans with the last election, and I think the same thing could happen here. So why would he say that, call into question a process that he's hoping to win?
I think that he is setting himself up for a loss, or not himself up, but he has already said that he is planning on filing lawsuits. If this election is close, then we can definitely count on having a vote recount and lawsuits happening. So I think he is setting the stage up for that this is voter fraud. I also think that this is the claims of voter fraud is something that the Republican Party has used to try to mobilize their base. Another option is that because of the pandemic, we have been able to mail in ballots. And that has been something that Republicans have said has hurt them because of, again, claims of voter fraud. So in calling out election fraud, he's really setting the stage up for lawsuits, vote recount, and just drawing out this recall election more than is necessary.
I got to tell you, though, they're not kidding when it comes to mail-in ballots. They scrutinize them.
Right.
Because my son, you know how young people, when you first learn to sign your name, you might do it one way, and then he sent in the ballot, and they kicked it back. I got it last week.
His signature didn't match.
They said signature did not match. So they do have a system in place. Would you consider this a safe and legal and good election in California, what we've got going on?
Oh, absolutely. As you said, they do check the signature ballots. They check the signatures on the ballots against one another. They are really scrutinizing the way that ballots are counted, and the registrar's office has done an excellent job, and there hasn't really been any valid claims of voter fraud.
You were saying that if Larry Elder does go ahead and try and challenge all of this, it would kind of extend the point at which we can say, okay, here's who our governor is. Do you think we'll have enough of a definitive answer tonight to know?
That is an excellent question, and it's really hard to tell because there's mail-in ballots. There's expected to be a surge in people who are going to vote in person, and then there's also provisional ballots. So if you are sitting at home right now and saying, "Oh shoot, I forgot to register to vote," you can still. There are places that you have same-day registration, and you can fill in a provisional ballot. So all of that kind of puts into play of like how long is this process going to happen. It needs to be certified by October 22nd, so that's the latest date, and we'll just have to see when it's called as far as what the margins are going to be.
Yeah, but in the meantime, so Newsom's the governor. I mean, I guess Larry Elder's challenge doesn't really matter, doesn't change anything, because it would be like, well, I'm the governor until you say I'm not, so then the year runs out and he's the governor, versus, let's say, Elder won and Newsom filed the lawsuit, then what would happen? Then would he stay in while they're figuring that out, or would Elder suddenly step up, and what would happen there?
Oh, that's a great question. Also, Newsom, I can't even give you a definitive answer because that's a stumper. I'm not even going to try.
So we wouldn't know. All right. So guess we'll find out.
We'll stay tuned.
We'll all be learning along together.
Thank you so much, Dr. Danvy Lee, CSU East Bay. Appreciate it. This is a work in progress, so that's why you got to watch the KRON4 News tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. We've got our special coverage, crews all over the state, giving you live shots from political experts to the candidates and at their headquarters and everything else.
You've got it all.
Yeah, you can count on us, and we have a special Inside Bay Area Politics look with experts as well. So we'll have our Bay Area angle on this, too. Start watching KRON4 at 5 o'clock tonight.